They say the darkest part of the night is just before the dawn. That's when nightmares can feel all too real. Sometimes the scariest things hide in plain sight. Other times, they jump out from the shadows. But no matter how they strike, one thing's for sure. It's impossible to predict when your darkest fears will come to life. But first, keep this in mind. Sometimes scary stories are just that. Stories, but every once in a while, you hear one that sends a shiver down your spine. And tonight's stories are real. They were sent in by viewers just like you. People with ordinary lives who found themselves in extraordinary situations. So turn on the lights because I'm about to share 3 terrifying encounters that prove how quickly a normal night can turn into a living nightmare. The city lights twinkled below me. I strolled along, enjoying the night air. This was my nightly ritual, my alone time after a hectic day. As a kid, it had always been my sanctuary, but lately, I couldn't shake off this feeling that something was off. Like someone was watching me. The hairs on the back of my neck stood on end. I quickened my pace, trying to dismiss the feeling. I walked past the old Victorian house with its boarded-up windows and overgrown garden. That's where the rumors started circulating. Tales of a missing child and a grieving mother who never gave up the search. I scoffed at those stories then, thinking them ridiculous. But now, with each step, the shadows seemed to close in on me. I pulled my jacket tighter around me, wishing I'd stayed indoors. That's when I saw them. 2 men circling the building, peering through the windows. One of them held a stick. Their eyes met mine, and I froze. They started coming towards me. Panic surged through me. I turned to run, but they were quick. They blocked my path. "What do you want?" I managed to choke out. The bigger of the 2 men grinned, revealing teeth that were just a little too sharp. "We just want to play," he said, his voice a low growl. His hand tightened around the stick. I could see the glint of metal in the moonlight. I backed away, my heart pounding. "No? Please," I begged, knowing it was futile. The last thing I remembered was the taste of fear and the cold steel of the man-esque grin. The wind howled outside, rattling the windows. Inside, we were tucked away in a cozy room with a pile of pizzas and a stack of horror movies. My friend's uncle, Blake, kept a watchful eye on us. He was a big guy with a thick beard and arms like tree trunks, perfect for protecting us. Then the doorbell rang. Blake went to answer it. I watched from the couch as a tall man entered. He had a pizza box in his hands and a strange smile on his face. It was the creepiest smile I'd ever seen, like he was hiding something. Blake said something about the guy giving him the creeps. We all stared at him as he walked away. Later, past midnight, we heard a loud knocking on the window upstairs. Someone was trying to break in. We all rushed downstairs. Blake grabbed his dogs and stormed outside. The rest of us huddled together, peeking out into the darkness. Underneath a tree by the window, Blake struggled with a man. He had a hood pulled tight around his face. Suddenly, the man stood up. It was the pizza guy. His face was illuminated by the streetlight. He had a wild look in his eyes. More police sirens wailed in the distance. Finally, the man ran away. Blake returned, breathless and furious. The pizza guy had set up a ladder against the house. He planned to climb in and steal things. Later, the police told us this wasn't his first offense. He had done this to other houses in the neighborhood. As I skipped along the dirt road, I looked up at the sky. The sun beat down on my shoulders. In the distance, I heard the rhythmic thud of a hammer. Curious, I walked towards the sound. A woman stood beside a wooden house, stirring something in a large pot over a small fire. Her movements were slow and rhythmic. Beside her sat a young girl with long, tangled hair. She smiled at me and beckoned with her finger. I waved back and continued on my way. A few minutes later, the girl called out to me again. "Come!" she shouted. I stopped and hesitated. Should I go over? My babysitter had warned me to stay away from strangers. But the girl's smile was infectious. As I approached, the woman turned and smiled at me. "Do you want some rice?" she asked. I nodded, eager to try whatever it was she had made. The smell was delicious. The girl handed me a bowl filled with steaming rice and meat. Before I could take a bite, a hand clamped down on my shoulder. I spun around to see my babysitter's worried face. She yanked me away from the girl, and the bull fell to the ground with a clatter. Without another word, she pulled me toward home. As we walked, I could hear the rhythmic thudding of the hammer and the woman's voice calling out to me. I never knew what I would have witnessed that day or what would have happened if I had eaten the food. All these years later, I still wonder.